sisters and friends in Bookkeeping Mamas. It's Trevonna Parker here with Bookkeeping Mama, Bookkeeping Advocate. And today I want to jump in and talk to you guys about budgets. So, have you ever just a moment where you just felt like you just overspent what you had, what came in? Basically, you had more month than money, where your bills were just out of whack, or you thought you had some money, or something you thought cleared the bank didn't clear the bank, and so you overspent and you just didn't manage things properly. Um, I remember when I was younger and my mother used to go to the grocery store and she would utilize calculators. So we would be at the grocery store and she would be using a calculator to just chart everything for us and just to make sure that everything came out and that the numbers matched. I hated the calculator just because I would always mess something up but she would always be using a calculator. And I'm mentioning that because I'm thinking of budgets. And I'm thinking of how, as humans, we need budgets. And as humans, sometimes we own businesses. So I'm sharing that with you guys because I think that this is budget season. We are going into the third quarter of the year, and it's time for people to get really serious about setting up their expectations for next year. And so, um, let me just preface this and say, budgeting is not bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is not budgeting. Budgeting is advisory services. It's part of the advisory services where you're going to be doing some forecasting. You're going to be looking toward the future. Bookkeeping is really just categorizing transactions from the past. So I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to make anyone think that it's harder than it is. It's actually a very simple career field. Not easy to break into it because you have to market yourself. You have to learn some things. You have to invest in yourself. But it is very simple and budgeting is not part of it. However, it's budget season. I work with people doing budgets and it's that time of the year. So we're going to talk about budgets just in case any of you bookkeeping mamas, you want to add budgets to your own business or you're working for someone and you want to do budgeting, you want to learn more. There are some, simple tips to work with budgeting. It's not that serious, I won't say it's not that serious. It's not that hard. Okay. So having said that, we're going to talk about budgeting. Budgeting can come, first of all, it's very important. We need to make sure our clients understand that it's important. If they're going to do a budget with us, if they're going to do a budget with someone else, they're going to hire a different advisor, whatever they're going to do, they need to understand that budgeting is important. Now, some bookkeepers may not want to touch it at all, leave it out of their conversation. They don't want to deal with scope creep or trying to offer any information that they don't have. Totally fine. Totally get that. Now, having said that, budgets. There are two ways that budgets generally are created. You have the zero-based budgeting where you say, look, these are our dreams for next year. This is what we're going to do. And we are going to probably spend about this much money here, this much money there, this much money here, this much money there. That's our budget. Now, this may work for like a new company who doesn't really have any idea of what they're going to be spending. This may work for an older company that may be opening up a new department and want to budget for the new department, or just made for work for a company that just says, this is what we do every year. We don't really focus on the past. We have dreams and goals, aspirations. We do zero-based budgeting. We move toward the future. The other way that you can do budgeting is historical budgeting. And you can look to the past to give you some insight on how the future may look. Now, the easiest way that I have found is to take the last 3 months as a guide. So you would take the last 3 months, do averaging of the last 3 months, and then push that forward. So when I say the last 3 months, what am I talking about? I'm talking about your revenue, what money you're expecting to come in, the avenues in which you're expecting it to come in. So for example, maybe you have services, but you also have products. Maybe you have 12 different products and you want to break those down. You want to make sure that you do your revenue. Then you also want to talk about your expenses. So you might have some variable expenses. So for example, if you're selling products, what it costs to make those products, or maybe even your services, what it costs to your direct labor or your direct materials for different people who are working on the actual services. Then you have your operating expenses, which are maybe your admin, postage and shipping kind of things, your rent, maybe your vehicle expenses, something along those lines are expenses that you want to make sure you budget. Now, why is it important to go through all of this? Oh, wait, before we do that, take a step back. You're going to take those 3 months, you're going to average them. And I wouldn't say go to the last part of the year, like December. You're going to want your budgeting time is now. October through December is when we should be creating our budgets. So we want to probably take the last 3 months. What is that? June. July, August, September, July, August, September, and work on the budget that way. So those last 3 months, that can give us a pretty good idea of what we had going on. We want to push that forward. Or we could say, okay, we can even budget quarterly. Our quarters look different. Our first quarter looks like this generally. Our second quarter generally looks like this. Our third quarter, we have slow seasons, busy seasons. We might want to operate that way. But ideally, you want to push that information forward. You get the average, you want to push it forward and say, this is what we're going to expect to do next year. Budgets are not perfect, nor are they set in stone. Ideally, you want to create one budget for the year and have that fuel you and your behaviors throughout the year. But then if you're way off budget somewhere after the first quarter, mid-year, especially, you want to say, hey, we obviously messed up. A few things may need to be revamped or we may go under. So why am I sharing that with you guys? Because when I'm speaking to you in a way for you to speak to your clients. I'm speaking in a way to help you to understand why it's important as you're talking to your clients, and also the tools that are the processes and tools that are going to be needed for the budget. So once you get the budget, then you're going to know how to read the budget. So what you're going to want to do is compare the budget to the actuals every single month. So this is where it comes in with the bookkeeping. This is what was forecasted in our budget. This is what we actually did. Are we too high? Are we too low? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, for example, maybe revenues are a lot higher than they expected. And, it's because we went against the budget in January because we hired someone when we weren't forecasting that, and now it paid off. Or maybe we went against the budget and hired someone and it's not paying off. So now we need to make some decisions. Our budget will give us what we call the variances. So we have a budget variance report, and it's very important for any clients who have budgets. So the budget variance report will tell us how much we're off of the budget. And ideally, you give your clients a budget variance report with dollars and also with percentages, because of course people read things differently, and it's important to match those. Because, so for example, if you have a larger company and they're off their budget by $2,000, but it's only 1%, that means nothing. If a smaller company is off by $2,000 and that's like a 60% discrepancy or 60% variance, that could mean a lot. So you want to give the variance report in dollars and also in percentages. And let me just take a look at some notes that I typed up a long time ago when I was actually preparing for a job interview. For those bookkeeping mamas who are looking for jobs, this matters for you as well, just to make sure there are no notes that I missed. Yeah, they were just asking me what I would do with the budget and where I would, who I would give it to. So of course you give it to the leaders of the company and help them to make decisions. Before you give it to the leaders of the company, you want to push the leaders of the company to make a budget. It's one of those words no one wants to hear: budget, budget, budget. But big companies use budgets. Successful people and successful companies use budgets. So sisters, friends, bookkeeping mamas, I hope this information helps you. Again, as you guys know, we're on the journey for bookkeeping to help it have it help us and our families. You can use this information to grow your own bookkeeping business, or if you want to start out as an employee, this will help you as well. If you guys like the information, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the videos with others. That will definitely help us to get this information out to more. If you have more people, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. That helps out as well. Other than that, I said I was going to change this, but I don't really know what I'm going to say just yet. But keep your money safe. And more importantly, keep your soul safe. If you have any questions about that, it's in the description of the video. Guys, have a great day. Budget, budget, budget. Bye now.